Hello everyone, so in this video we're going to be farming the hulking stone elementals out in the explorable area of Old Ascalon using a warrior, the new 15-year anniversary update skill called 7-weapon stance, and a scythe. So to start this farm, you just aggro cobble poundstone or the hulking stone elemental that'll spawn over here on the right, and you want to use a fresh sprint to run through and aggro up these stone elementals. Now, there is the possibility of getting a different boss there, and we'll talk about that scenario in a second, but for now you just want to run through and aggro these guys up and get them into a right wall block so when they start to take damage, they won't scatter. When you stop, just activate Doliak Signet and you are all weaklings, so you're taking 0 damage with each hit. Then 7-weapon stance and for great justice and just start hacking away at cobble poundstone until all the enemies die. Just be sure to maintain you are all weaklings so you're taking little to no damage. Doliak Signet is really only used so you could survive until all the enemies get adjacent to one another. That way you're ensured that you or all weaklings will affect the entire ball. So when this group is done, you could head on to the next area to continue the farm, but before we do that, I want to go over what happens when you get a different boss called Flint Touchstone. Unlike Cobble Poundstone, you want to take this guy out before you aggro anything else, and that's because he has a skill called Eruption which will blind you, and another skill called Ward Against Melee which will block your attacks. And if you get into a ball with him, you won't be able to kill anything. So to take him out, all you do is get in his aggro range and he'll cast Eruption, and you just keep running and he'll basically miss. And as you get close to him, he'll cast Ward Against Melee, and you can just walk outside the ward and he'll follow you, and then just attack him like normal. While doing this, you might get a few other elementals, but they shouldn't be a problem. And once you're done killing Flint Touchstone, you could move on to the rest of the farm like we just did. And now back to where we were before. So this stone elemental up here is kind of risky to get because if you go too far, there could be some devourers that spawn. And if it's a necro or ranger, you won't be able to survive, so you gotta watch out for that. You also want to make sure you don't get a flash gargoyle because you can't survive that either. But anyway, just like before, you sprint to aggro all these guys up. And if you chose to get that first stone elemental, you have to go back towards the tree and right wall block them against that or against another wall closer to where he spawned. Otherwise, he'll break from you and you won't be able to kill him. So for the rest of the farm, it's going to be the same exact tactics. You just sprint and round everything up into a right wall block, then defend and attack like what we just did. And I also want to point out that in this canyon, there's another spawn location for either Cobble Poundstone or Flint Touchstone. So if you get Flint Touchstone, just kill him like what we did before. You want to attack him first before you aggro anything else. And if you get Cobble Poundstone, you can just round him up like what we did in the beginning with other groups and just kill him. So yeah, that's basically all the tactics to this farm. With 7-weapon stance, it's definitely an upgrade to the previous build, which relied on triple chop. I mean, granted, it still works, but it's a lot slower than with 7-weapon stance. And in my opinion, 7-weapon stance is a lot more fun just because it's faster, and you also get to use a scythe on a warrior, which you don't see that often or even at all. And I also want to point out that 7-weapon stance is pretty cool. I don't know if you noticed, but in the build that I linked in the description, I only put 4 ranks into Scythe Mastery. And that's because with 16 strength, you're getting 16 ranks added to Scythe Mastery. So it's maxing it out at 20. So that leaves 90 something attribute points that are left to be put into another rank. So it opens up a bunch of different possibilities for farming and maybe even some other PvE builds because you don't have to spend those attribute points on those ranks. So it's pretty cool. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. And if you enjoy this kind of stuff, I'm always making Guild Wars 1 related content, so please consider subscribing. And with that, I just want to say thank you for watching, good luck, and have fun.